Okay, Donald Trump was banned today by Mark Zuckerberg and from Facebook and Instagram today. Now, this is because of the protests and the rallies that have happened in the past few days in Washington D.C. I think this is wrong. That brothers and sisters, supporters of Donald Trump, are actually, actually um, are doing this, are actually supporting him in the right way. And I know this is gonna, totally. I don't know if it's gonna hurt Donald Trump's campaign ideas for 2024. Even though we know he's gonna run again. So, and now that he's been banned from Instagram and Facebook, I mean, they're platforms to give him voice, of course, but he uses Twitter a lot more. And I think he's probably been banned from that too, which is no good. And they want to ban him until, the end of his presidency, which will be in the next few weeks. He's been challenging ever since, because we know that Joe Biden, rigged the US election, just like George W. Bush did in 2000 and 2004, because of the federal, because of the war in Iraq. That's what George W. Bush wanted to start, basically. And they reckon, Lyndon Johnson killed JFK. The mob put out a hit. The mafia put out a hit on JFK. Because he used people like Frank Sinatra to try to win the US election in 1960. I don't think it was anything to do. And Lyndon Johnson started sending troops to the Vietnam War, so it wasn't JFK. And, the Americans have been using assassination and tyrannical dictatorships for a very long time. So they reckon there's to be someone a lot more worse than Donald Trump coming after Donald Trump. So I don't think it's Joe Biden. But we don't know who's actually in charge of the United States at the moment fully. I mean, that sort of stuff, and the US government before has used things like MK Ultra, and they used a book like Catcher in the Rye for what they call sleeper agents, CIA, Black Ops, undercover sleeper agents that they used for assassinations on John Lennon, who passed away 40 years ago. He was killed viciously by basically a CIA operative who worked undercover, and they brainwashed him using MK Ultra, which is a technique the CIA have been using and perfecting for the last 50, 60 years. And so yeah, and the people who killed Robert Kennedy, that was a CIA hit as well, most likely a CIA hit, because they don't like people who are controversially in power, just like just like you know, just like JFK. I mean, that's why the mob killed him basically. But they also think it's because they wanted to start a war in Vietnam against the communists. So, and this is the problem with US politics at the moment, and the media is all biased about it because they're supporting Joe Biden. They're all left wing people, and there's a lot of left wing news channels that create propaganda and use their own leftist hidden agendas for what's actually happening in the real world. And I support Donald Trump. I've supported Donald Trump a lot in the last few years, even as an Australian, and I support what brothers and sisters are doing, supporting Donald Trump, of course. And even though that they did breach the US Capitol building in Washington D.C., it's not actually starting a rebellion yet. I don't think this is the moves of what a rebellion actually starts like, but they're saying this is what's the cause of it, really. And banning Donald Trump from, social media platforms, I think is wrong. Even though he wants to start his own broadcast company, which would basically be like the Hilton Broadcasting Company, which is HBO, which I think is under the division of Warner Brothers, I think, who own it. And so yeah, there's a lot of weird stuff going on. We don't know who the real players are. I mean, remember, people, we got to watch this space. We got to watch it, watch what's going on. We're living in a dystopian society of 1984, basically, and we just got to watch this space and watch what's going on.